Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? My name is Rob Carmona, and welcome back to another episode of Rob the Mic. So, before we jump into today's episode, I want to take a quick second and thank those of you who reached out, whether it was DM, text, call, comment in any way, shape, or form, if you interacted with me posting about the magazine last week. So, it's still very new, it's very fresh, and it's crazy to have experienced something like that, like another publication so close to my first. And it's one of those things I always wanted to experience. Like I was like, man, like I've had friends that have gone through publications that have done certain things, either had work published, but I never thought I'd be in a position to have a story done about me, let alone two stories. And it's very humbling, and I'm extremely thankful and appreciative for this opportunity. So it's because of you guys, right? It's all of your exposure, it's all of your love, it's everything. That's what kind of helps me to get there. So it feels like that's why in the post, like I talked about it, and it's like, dude, this is as much yours as it is mine. None of this is possible without you guys. And even though it might not be necessarily aligned with the podcast, I feel like it kind of is, right? Because this podcasting is a very personal journey for me. And I get to take you guys with me, and a lot of you guys get to kind of go through the process and figure yourselves out too, right? So I feel like we're all just kind of, we're in this boat together. And I do feel like it aligns because it's a very personal story. It's a very personal thing that I'm talking about in these magazine articles, especially the second one. I feel like we dive a little bit deeper into my ethic and what kind of goes on and why I do what I do, what makes me tick. And they're just very personal questions, right? Like, am I happy as an artist? Why am I continuing down this path, and so on and so forth. So it's sick. And I can't thank you guys enough again for all your love. For those of you who've reached out, thank you. Thank you so much. It's crazy. Like I don't really have any other word for it. Like I'm almost speechless because of it. Because I never know what's gonna happen, right? Like I had my issues with the magazine, unfortunately, and it would have come out, let's say I posted it last week, it would have come out 2 weeks ago per se. But due to some issues that I was having with images and placement and so on and so forth, I kind of gave up, to be honest with you. But at least the image issue got fixed, because that was a big problem with the magazine. Is when the article had first got published, the pictures looked like trash. Like I don't know what happened. I don't know what was going on, because everything was fine when it was uploaded. And it happens, right? Sometimes there's technical issues. It could be the service that they're using or whatever server is going on. So I'm not sure. Took some time. That's why it got posted last week. Because I had some people tell me like, hey, dude, I saw this was published last week. Like, how come you didn't say anything sooner? And I said, dude, I couldn't. Because at the end of the day, this is about me, and it's about my work, and it's showcasing what I do. And the last thing I want to do is showcase my work in the worst way possible, right? Because that reflects negatively on my work. And on top of that, I also had somebody else's name on the line too, right? Like I had Albert, who had shot the cover photo for this. And the last thing I would want is for him to go and see his work and it looks like shit. Because for me, imagine, like I opened up the article and I was like, what? Like I was pissed, super fucking pissed when I saw it, because I couldn't believe it. And I'm like, how could you let this go? Like as the magazine, as the author of this piece, and even the guy that I was working with, I'm like, how could you see this and say that this is okay? Right? Like you look at the other pieces, you look at other people's work that's been posted, and it doesn't look like that. Like reach out to me and let me know. But I had to find out on my own and again, fight for it. And biggest thing for me was that Albert's work would look a certain way, right? Because I'm getting to share this experience with him, and he is somebody that I see as family. Like I see him as a brother, and the last thing I want to do is let him down. I want him to be proud of a piece that he shot. I want him to be proud to be a part of this article with me. So I need everything to be 110%. And yes, of course, my work comes with that too, but I put him before me in the situation, because that's what needs to happen. Like I can't have somebody else looking bad because of me. You get what I'm saying? So I'm glad everything worked out, but that's the reason why the article got posted a week later than it should have. And I'm just glad that we're in this position now. And it's awesome that it's out. It's gotten love. It's sick, and I love it. And I had another buddy of mine bring up something over the weekend. Actually, on Sunday, we had a conversation. And he's like, hey, dude, how was the reception of the second one? And I was like, well, it was interesting. It's very interesting. Let's just say I took more notes, and he goes, yeah, I figured. He's like, I went back and looked at the first one and compared it to the second one. Not the article, but just kind of the interactions and certain things. And I was like, oh, interesting. So he's like, I was just curious. He's like, I knew that you knew, but I didn't know how you felt about it. And I said, yeah, dude, you know what? This time around, I just kind of chalk it up as it is what it is. That's the way I see it. If you fucked with it, if you interacted in some way, you said congrats in some way, sick. Like, I appreciate that. And I have that, like, noted. Like, I know who reached out. And that's all I can say. I can't speak for other people. I can't speak for anything else. Companies, whatever. Like, I can't speak for anyone. And also, it's like we've talked about here on the podcast too, where it's like you can't expect yourself of other people. Because you would react a certain way doesn't mean that other people, and you can't expect other people to react that way. Maybe to be super happy for you or to be excited or something of the other, because they might not. That might not be everyone's shit, right? And we've also talked about this too, where everyone is happy up until a certain point, where the moment that you do quote unquote better than they are, or if you've reached a certain peak before they have, people aren't really stoked on that, right? Like, everybody's happy for you until you're doing better than them. And that's a fucked up way of looking at shit. It's a fucked up mentality. And it's like, damn, so you're cool with people just kind of struggling, but as long as you're doing slightly better than them, then it's all right. Like, that's some fuck shit. You know, like, I feel like you need to cultivate that environment where you kind of have and you bring and you spread love. Where I want my team to win, and you be genuine about it. You mean it from the bottom of your heart. Like, when your people win, you feel like we win. You know, I just had this conversation with Sebastian over the weekend, which is a part of getting into the podcast, but we were talking about just like the wins, right? And like, he had a promotion that he's been working for a while. And I'm really fucking proud of him. And for me, I was so fucking happy, so excited for him. And we've been kind of celebrating this, right? Because this is huge for him. It's huge for his career, for the company, for everything. So I felt like I got the promotion. You know, like, that's how happy I was. Like, I was so excited, and I was like, oh my God, like, you know, he did it. He did it. But then I almost felt like, you know, it was like, we did it. This is sick. You know what I mean? I get to see my brother make it. I get to see him do something. And in turn, it's like, it gives me so much. It gives me so fucking much to see my people happy like that. And I've had other homies that kind of come into that too, right? Like, one of my other buddies, he's in the retail space, started managing his store. Well, he got hit up to manage a different store where he was at. And I'm like, oh my God, like, he's been working towards this promotion, got an opportunity, ran it up, got the pay, got everything he needed. And I'm like, that's fucking incredible, dude. I'm so proud of you. That is fucking sick. Like, when he told me, he was kind of nonchalant about it. And I'm like, no. What do you mean? Don't just walk over that shit. Like, we got to celebrate, bro. Like, this is fucking incredible. This is incredible. So it's like that's fucking tight, right? But that's how it should be. I can't say that it's got to be like that for everybody, but in my eyes, that's how it should be. Like, you should want the best for the people around you. And if you feel some sort of way about somebody, maybe if you're not super stoked on whatever, then maybe adjust your circle, right? Because maybe they're not the person or the type of people that you need around if they make you feel that way. Or if you just kind of feel like that in general, it's like, I feel like you need to just do some major introspection and go figure your shit out. Because if you're not stoked to see people around you winning, I don't really know how life is supposed to work out. Like, I don't really know how the universe is supposed to give you what you need, because you're out here putting out this sort of vibe, and you can't have that. You can't fucking have that. That shit is so fucking bad. And it makes me sad that people are like that too. But you know what? It's all good. Everybody makes their decision. Everybody makes their choices for a reason. Maybe they've been wronged. Maybe they felt some sort of way in the past. That's what's caused them to be and or feel this way now. But that's not something that I can align with. That's not something that I know from firsthand experience. Like, especially right now as an adult and at this exact point in my life, I love seeing the people around me win. I love seeing my circle come up. Even if, let's say, it's not me, right? If I'm not hitting these points, but the people around me are, it's like, I feel like I said, like, I'm winning. Because I love seeing my people happy. I love seeing the ones around me that I love and that I care for smiling and living their best life, because that's what this is about. There's nothing else to it. Life is so fucking short. And it's like, why would I want to spend it being jealous or feeling some sort of animosity towards somebody? Like, I don't have time for that shit. If I don't fuck with you, I don't have you in my life and I don't want you in my life. And it's not even like I'm trying to just be like a fucking asshole. It's just like, if I don't fuck with you, I don't fuck with you. And that's okay. You just stay the fuck over there. I'll stay over here and it's all good. Right? Like, I feel like those paths just aren't meant to cross and that's all right. It's like we talked about before, right? Like sometimes you realize that you need to make adjustments. People, things, places, whatever. And if you need to make those adjustments, and fucking make them. If it's for the best for you, then do that. Because nobody else is going to do that. Nobody else is going to sit there, come and save you and make the adjustments for you. You have to do that yourself. That's part of being an adult, is you being able to vocalize and say and do things that benefit you. There might be people who look out for you and have your best interests. And shouts to those people, right? Because we all need those people. I have those. And I'm very thankful, very blessed to have those people in my life that turn around and say, hey, fucking up. Or, hey, I feel like you need to kind of and kind of You know what I mean? You need that type of shit. But again, make the adjustments you need to make. Check out how you look at stuff. Watch the people when you win. Watch how people react. The ones that sit there and they're cheering you on and that are super stoked for you, whatever, those are the ones you keep. The ones that kind of sit there in the shadows and just be fucking watching shit, just let them be. Don't address it. Don't chase anything. Don't go looking. Don't go fishing. Just leave it alone. Those people end up falling by the wayside. And that's what you want. That's what you want. You want people to just kind of go on their own. You do not have to interact. Just limit the interactions. Feel their energy. See what's good with them. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people aren't going to want that shit for you. They don't want good shit for you. Not that they want necessarily something bad for you, but they don't want you to come up. And they might, again, not vocalize that, but it's their mannerisms. It's the way they treat you. It's the way they act. Like those type of things, take fucking notes. Because I know I sure as fuck have. Without a doubt. And it came at a great time because that's how we're going to segue into the episode. So Saturday, I end up taking a last minute trip to Joshua Tree for the day with my brother Sebastian. And the primary reason why we were originally going to go is because he was out there for his birthday last week or 2 weeks ago, something like that. And he had gone and he went to this like novelty shop, like little gift shop. Because there's like certain shops when you go into Joshua Tree, like in downtown. And there's one smaller shop that kind of carries a bunch of local sellers. They have like little trinkets and crystals and clothing and lighters and just like random like little stuff, right? So he had found these little, I think they were made of like iron or something like that. They were like little cast crows. There was only one. Long story short, there was another shop that's maybe about a half hour up the way in 29 Palms, and they're the ones who produce them. So he was like, hey, dude, if this shop doesn't get back to me, because he had asked them on Instagram if it was possible, one, if they had more, two, if they could ship, if not, if they could hold them so we could go out there and get them. So the shop ended up having them and they shipped them. But he's like, hey, dude, you know what? I know we had originally planned on going for this, but they ended up shipping the pieces. But to be honest with you, I kind of still want to go. Like he had already mapped out and he had the day already clear. So I was like, okay, well, fuck it, dude. You know what? Why not? Let's go. Let's go. You know what? I need to get out of town, even if it's for a day. Like, I need to get the fuck out of here. And I know you do too. Like, I know you went on your vacation and you had your time away, but I know you need just a little bit more. So let's roll, right? So that was our original intent, was to go to pick up these pieces. But we end up going out there and it's an adventure, right? And it was fucking sick. So we get out there. We grab breakfast. We're chilling out for a bit. We make our stops that we normally like to make when we're out there. So we hit this little farmer's market, got breakfast at our place, went to the shops that we go. From there, we went into 29 Palms. Stopped at this, actually the shop that ended up shipping him the pieces that he wanted. We stopped by because they were open. So we went to, it's like, how would you say? Like a brother-sister situation. Because both of the businesses are involved. And they're right next door to each other, but they don't sell the same type of thing. So it's kind of cool. So we get to go over there, check the stores out, see what's up, get the vibes. And it was a trip because I I don't know if I had mentioned to you guys last week, but I wasn't feeling too great. Like I had like this like I don't know if it was like an ear infection or what was going on, but I just felt kind of funny. I felt like my ear needed to pop, but it wasn't popping. And I didn't mean it in like a was popping way, but like literally like my ear was not popping, you know, like it just felt weird. My balance was starting to get fucked up. And actually on Saturday, that when we got there to Joshua Tree, it kind of hit me and I was feeling kind of like I don't know how to really explain it. Like I felt like I was kind of faded. Like I don't know, my whole shit was just off. I felt off balance. I just felt weird. It felt kind of funny. But I was kind of struggling when we first got there. So when we get to 29 Palms and we go to these places, one of the shops, right? The shop that had these pieces that shipped to him, it's like a little, like an apothecary. So they have candles, crystals, bits and pieces from like all over the world. You can get like tea, little like herbal mixtures and stuff like that. It's very like, it's a good vibe. It's a cute little shop. So we go in there. I take a nice deep breath. They have like a certain incense burning and I just feel good in there. It feels nice. Like I like the energy in there. The people are really sweet. They're really kind. They're really welcoming. And I said, damn, you know, like it's a trip. How sometimes, and I know a lot of people be like, oh, that's a bunch of bullshit, right? Energy and vibes. And no, it's not though. It's not. It has nothing to do with crystals. It has nothing to do with any of that shit. I feel like there are certain places, people, and things that bring a certain energy and that bring a certain vibe. And you can feel that. You feel that shit in a room. You know when you're in a place that's good for you, and you know that you're in a place that's, let's say, the opposite. And it's like, well, I gotta get the fuck out of here, or I'm good. I'm good. This is where I need to be right now. And when we were there, that's kind of how I felt. Like I was like, this is where I needed to be right now. I just felt good, and I was just taking in deep breaths, kind of relaxing. I felt kind of good, and it was a trip because when we walked out, I just, not that I all of a sudden felt better, but I just felt a little more grounded. Like I felt cool, and I was like, okay, good. Like I needed that. You know, I went with my brother so he could do his thing and we can just kind of spend our time together over here. But I ended up getting more out of just this little experience than I thought. And that was just the start of the day. So I'm like, okay, cool. So from there, we head further into 29 Palms. And what we were planning to do is hit some trails that day. And the thing is, there's a bunch of trails out that way when you get into 29 Palms, and a couple of the trails are really dope because they're actually mining trails. And the only thing is you kind of have to, well, you actually do have to be really fucking careful on these trails because a lot of them are what's considered or what's called shelf roads. So there are these roads that usually, like when you're out in the mountains, you'll see trails on the sides of mountains, right? So some of them are fire roads, but a lot of them, depending on what mountain you're on or where you are in Southern California or in California in general. Actually, not even in California, because I mean, you can find these roads in Colorado. You can find them anywhere, Utah, all over the place. So it's basically any sort of mountain region, wherever the fuck you are. Roads that led to mining situations, those are all shelf roads, right? And a lot of these are not maintained. That's the thing. So there's nobody that goes on there that keeps them, that kind of moves rocks, moves boulders, makes sure that it's drivable or that it's even safe. That shit's not going to just fall out from under you. So these roads you enter at your own risk. 110%. And when you see them, you're like, oh, fuck, this doesn't necessarily look like it's the safest fucking thing. And I honestly probably shouldn't even be driving on it. But you take the chance because it's like, well, fuck, dude, I'm going to see some shit that majority of people aren't going to see. And it's having the type of vehicle, right, that can get you there safely. And thankfully, it's not like, I'm not going to compare it like to going doing a trail at Big Bear type of shit, right? This isn't a John Bull, even like on the light side, Gold Mountain, right? This is nothing like that. It's literally just a road that's on the side of a mountain, and you're going to drive all the way up this fucking mountain, and hopefully this road or a piece of it doesn't give out on the side of you, right? Like we come up to one part of the mountain, and there was like a whole chunk of the shit missing, like it had fallen out, and there was some rock that was there, and we had pulled up to it. I told Sebastian, I was like, let me get out and spot you. So I have him back up. When he backed up, it was like a softer dirt that was there. And then you see it just kind of sink down. I was like, fuck, dude. Like, We got no fucking business like, being on this fucking shelf road. Zero business. But fuck it. Let's run it up. Let's see what's going on. So I get him to hug the mountain. Sketchy. We get through it. We end up having to help out these kids, right? Because they get stuck. It's fucked up. So that took up some of our time, but we had to do it, right? Like we couldn't leave these kids out there. Their car got fucked up. They're young. They're not from here. They're from like Minnesota or some shit like that. So we go help them out, do the thing. We go back up, right? Go back up to this thing, go check out some of this shit. And as we keep going, I'm just like, damn, dude, this is fucking rad. And I noticed that I wasn't thinking about anything. I was so present. And I know we've talked about this before, right? Where I'm trying to work on that, to be more present. And I got to do things that catch my attention and catch my heart in that way. And this is something that I love to do, right? And I know you guys know that because we talk about it. Like I love nature. I love being out in the forest. I love being out just in that general area. But desert is a tough one because desert doesn't really catch me like that unless I'm in a situation like this. Like not fucking taking shelf roads up a mountain, but if I'm in like mountain ranges, in that type of thing, I do love that. I can fuck with that all day. But like, let's say take me out to the dunes type of thing. That's not really my vibe. It doesn't really do it for me. Like I'll go, I guess just to like go, but it doesn't do the same thing, for example, of what I experienced on Saturday. So as we're going through this whole situation, we start hitting different shelf roads, checking out different shit. Me freaking out because this fool's over here. We're going off axis on the side of a mountain. And I'm just looking down like, if we roll, we're going to die. like there's nothing to stop us, dude. It's just fucking cliffside. And all that shit is sharp down there, bro. Like, this isn't going to be good. So I'm over here kind of losing my shit. But I trust him with my life. Sebastian is hands down one of the best drivers that I've ever been with. When it comes to rock crawling, when it comes to any sort of off-roading, like he's super controlled. He understands his vehicle more than honestly anyone I've ever met. So it's a fucking rad experience to go and do shit like this with people who you trust like that, right? So as we're going through this whole thing, we're exploring, we're checking stuff out. We come up to this one mine. It was like a shaft, but there was this really dope, like old structure. It's all like, I mean, all made of wood. It has all kinds of crazy shit everywhere. And we're like, dude, I lost it immediately because I love shit like that. Like anything old, historic, I'm a sucker for it. Like if it's been there for 100 years, I'm tripping out because I'm like, it's still here. Look at this shit. Like, can you imagine all the people that were here, that worked here, that were on this mining shaft, like the conversations that were had, like everything, right? Everything that was experienced. Like, I love that. So we're chilling over there, taking pictures, having a drink, kicking back. And I'm just fucking living my life. And I know it sounds kind of dumb where it's like, well, duh, like you're always living your life. But it's like, I'm not. I don't let myself enjoy things. I don't let myself be present. And I did. And I'm glad that I did. Because these are things that like I'll never forget. So as we're finishing up the trail, it's pretty long, like to get back, basically what you do is you take this little road. You can either take a bunch of shelf roads or you can just continue taking the road and go through the wash. So we go through this whole thing. And then if you take the road all the way down, you can finish out in Joshua Tree, like in the national park. And then from there, you can take the main road and go back out into downtown Joshua. But it's not short, like it's a couple hours, right? So we're out there for a couple hours doing our thing. And then we kind of finished out where we were going, like essentially the mining trail section, right? Like we didn't hit a bunch of them because they're really long. So it's like, well, we didn't want to be out here all fucking night. So we need to kind of plan a little bit better for that. We just kind of want to explore for the day. So we finish out. And to get out, there's one part where you have to drive another shelf road, basically up this mountain. And then you come around the backside and then it puts you on the flats and you can just kind of head out and go back to the trailhead. So we wanted to go out that way versus driving all the way in and going out through Joshua Tree National Park. So we're doing the shelf road, checking out some more of these mines, whatever we can see, right? Whatever's just kind of around, checking out all the mountains. And dude, I'm seeing shit that's just, it's so humbling. It's beautiful. It's just the wildest fucking shit, dude. Like, if you love that type of stuff, if you love the desert, you love mountains, you love that kind of landscape, you need to go out into 29 Palms and explore. There's a bunch of roads when you're driving down, basically whatever, I forgot what that main road is, but there's a main road that kind of runs through Joshua Tree, 29 Palms, all that. If you take that road and just continue fucking going, you go through 29 Palms, like in downtown, and then you just kind of look off to your right as you're driving down, there's a bunch of roads that will just kind of head out into the mountains. You can take all that shit and just go. That's where you want to go. Go fucking explore, go get lost. Honestly, you should probably have some sort of GPS situation or some sort of map. At least download your maps ahead of time. Or there's a service called Onyx. Check that out. Download your maps. Do what you got to do, because there is zero fucking signal out there. So you will be lost, disconnected. You won't have shit. Like, good fucking luck. So if you don't know where you're going, you can definitely get lost out there in the worst possible way. And you won't be able to reach anyone. Like, thankfully, we came across some people. So it's not super, super desolate, but it also took us a very long time to reach and come into contact with people, if that makes sense. So if you were to go down, I would say go with at least 2 vehicles. Granted, we went with 1, but both of us are very experienced in this realm. Like, within off-roading, we understand how to work on certain things, how to change out. And then we had everything that we needed. But if you're not and you want to get lost, just have the right shit to go get lost. You know what I mean? That way you can actually get home or at least get help safely. But anyways, we're going up this road and we reach this peak. And I was like, hey dude, like, let's just kick back right here. I don't know. It feels right. Like, this view is crazy. Whether we looked in front of us or behind us, it was wild. We just had mountain ranges everywhere. Everywhere. So we sit there, we pull up some chairs, grab a couple drinks, and we're kicking back. And I'm like, dude, like, I'm just sitting there, just in awe of nature. I'm in awe looking at how fucking massive these mountains are, these rock formations, all these things, just being surrounded by that kind of history. Quiet. You don't fucking hear anybody. Nothing. And that was one thing that we kept talking about the whole fucking day. Being out there and just being like, dude, I can't hear anything. I don't hear anyone. I don't hear cars. I don't hear horns, sirens. I don't hear people talking. I don't hear shit. You know, and I had zero want or need to be on my phone. And granted, I'm not really, like, I don't really like being on my phone as it is, which is why, and I know I've mentioned this to you guys before, like, it's tough for me to have to be in the social media realm, because it's like I got to interact and comment and DM and do all this and respond. And it's tough. It becomes overwhelming a lot of the times, because I'm just like, I don't want to do this shit. And out there, I was like, I just get to live my life, do my fucking thing, chill with my brother, having a drink, kicking back. We're on the cliff right now. Like, we're on the side of a fucking mountain on a shelf road, 2 chairs, kicking back, smoking, having a drink. I'm like, this is fucking cool. This is the coolest shit ever, you know? And I remember when we got out of the Jeep the first time on this shelf road, like where we kicked back and took the chairs out, Sebastian looked at me, because I was just there quiet. I didn't say anything. And he goes, hey. I was like, what's up? He said, tell me about how big your problems are again. And I just, like, I smirked and I was like, damn. I said, yeah, right. He goes, I swear, dude, this type of shit is so humbling, right? Like, we are so small and so insignificant in this landscape that it grounds you. It keeps you in a place that you need to be, right? Like, there's something in these forces, I guess you can say, right? And just nature in general, how big and how strong it is. And it kind of makes you feel some sort of way. Like, at least for me, it does. Like, it's always very moving. It's very emotional for me, especially as I've gotten older and I've kind of experienced certain things, whether it's like personally with my family, professionally, anything like that. So when I have these moments of solace and solitude, I just sit in it. And it moves me a certain way. It makes me feel some sort of way. And he's right. You look at all this shit that's out there. You look at the mountains and you look at everything and you're just like, dude, nothing fucking matters right now. None of the problems, none of the shit I got going on. None of it. all I can do is control in the moment and control whatever it is that I can. And right now, that's enjoying my time with my brother. It's us, these two chairs, and that's it. So let's just take it in, right? Let's just kick back. And it was dope, dude. Just us laughing, talking, chilling. And that's like, yo, we got to do this shit more. And he's like, bro, I tell you. And he does. He does. Anytime, he doesn't need a reason, right? Like, I just have to tell him, hey, I want to go do this. He's like, ah, fuck it, let's go. Especially if it's nature related. Like, we are out. Let's get the fuck out of Dodge, you know? So that was beautiful. And as we're sitting there, just kind of feeling small, enjoying the moment, taking everything, talking about life, you know, having some serious conversation about all kinds of shit. And granted, we were the whole day, but it hit a lot harder when we were at this spot. So we're sitting there and I notice the light's just getting a lot more gold. And it fucking hit me, right? And I didn't take my camera. All I had was my phone on me. So I was like, I didn't take any of my shit. I didn't want to get into that. But I realized that and I said, oh my God. So I looked behind us and there's this mountain pass that you can see. And there's a bunch of mountains just kind of stacked and sunset starts to happen. And I'm like, oh shit, dude, I go, dude, look. And he's like, oh fuck. So I set up my phone and I catch a time lapse and I'm just like, we're just staring at it. Like I put my phone on a rock, set it up, let it do its thing. And we're just sitting there watching this shit. Like, damn, dude. We're out here in the desert. We're in the mountains on a fucking shelf road by ourselves, watching this sunset. Like, this is crazy. Like, what more do you need to kind of calm you down, to humble you, to make you feel like, you know what? Even if shit's fucked up, or if you feel some sort of way, like, it's all right. You just kind of leave it here. Just breathe it out. Let nature kind of do its thing, right? Because in that way, it becomes almost like a very healing experience. And you hear people talk about shit like that, right? Where nature is a very healing experience. And it can be. And I felt that way. Just kind of being in the rocks and just kind of feeling myself around and just kind of, you know, looking, exploring, going where I need to go. And there was something about that specific spot that we were just like, something told me, like, I was like, I need to stop here. We need to stop here. And then that's what it was. We needed to see that. We needed that time together. We needed that time to just kind of be in this space. And it was beautiful. So we finish that up. We wrap up, you know, sun dips out, goes behind the mountain. And it's already like, it's starting to get dark in the valley. So we're like, cool, you know, let's roll out. After that, we end up at the trailhead. We start airing back up and we're pulling all the shit out. And we're just focused. Like, it's pitch black out there. There's zero light. It's the coolest fucking thing in the world. Like, you get out of your vehicle. If you turn off all the lights, it's just black. It's dark. There's nothing. Like, if you've never experienced desert dark, it's different, right? It's not like you just walk outside your house. Like, there's zero light pollution anywhere. There's nothing. You're going to get the moon and the stars if they're out. But if they're not really out there like that, it's just night, like straight darkness. It's the coolest fucking thing ever. But we're doing that, pulling shit out. We get everything situated. We start airing up. And then he's like, hey, he goes, look up. I looked up. And then I like immediately just start, like, I feel my eyes just start like watering up and I get super emotional. And he's like, hey, dude, he's like, you good? I was like, yeah, man, like, I'm good. I had never seen so many stars in my entire life like that. Like, I've been out in the desert and I've seen beautiful escapes like that, but it's been a very long time. And just to see this at that moment on this day, it was very fucking different. It was like you dropped glitter on a black countertop. They were everywhere. The whole sky just riddled stars, planets. We saw a couple satellites going by, which was cool as shit. And it's just like, I don't know what that shit does to me. It makes me feel some sort of way. It moves me that way. Like, it makes me feel good. Like, I love seeing and experiencing that. And again, feeling so small. You know, we are fucking specks in the universe. The universe is massive. There's so many galaxies and planets and constellations and all kinds of shit. And we are but just the smallest piece of dust in all of it. So again, it made me feel something. It connected me a certain way with nature. And I'm like, all right, cool. I love this. This is the shit that I need. So I encourage all of y'all, if you might not be the most nature bound person, you don't really understand, you don't really know, go experience this shit. Go get a cabin, go somewhere, get out, explore. Because there's going to be a certain point, a certain thing that you experience that you're going to be like, oh shit, I get it now. I get it now. And I remember those moments when I had those where I was just like, I get it now type shit. But like Saturday, that's something I'll never forget in my entire life. The entire day, like the day was fucking incredible, but just those things, exploring the experiences, the laughs, the tears, the emotion, all of it. And then it ending the way that it did, where I get to stargaze and just kind of chill out. And I'm like, this is it. This is what the fuck I needed. This is what my soul needed. And I felt so good. I felt energized. I felt like I could do shit. Like I was good. I was like, I can handle it. Whatever's going down, like I can handle it. I got it. I fucking got it. I've always had it and I have it right now. So we finish up our shit, we air up, do our thing, go back into town, grab a drink, dinner, and we come back home. And Sunday, I told myself, I was like, fuck this. I'm not doing any work. I'm chilling out, taking a breather. And I never let myself do that. If I ever have any downtime, usually I start working right away, whether it's like editing, doing some sort of something design related, whatever. But I said, I'm gonna just chill. And I did. I took the fucking day, kicked back. I started my week right. I felt good. I felt rejuvenated. I felt energized. Again, like I felt like I could take on whatever is gonna kind of come at me. It didn't matter. I was able to look at things a lot more calm and just kind of process my thoughts a certain way. And I'm not saying like I didn't think about anything crazy on Saturday, because of course I did. I had a lot of shit on my mind. And me feeling the way that I did, especially when I was stargazing, like I started thinking a lot. And it's like, it goes to show you might not think you have it so bad because you don't let yourself feel certain things. And then when you do, and it kind of towers over you a certain way, you feel like a wave kind of hits you and you can't hold back. Because it's just everything all in one. You're not crying because you're sad, or you're not feeling the way you do because of this, because of that. It's like, it's just all of it, and it just accumulates and explodes a certain way. And everybody experiences that different, right? Sometimes you cry, sometimes, you know what I mean? There's different shit. There's different ways. People experience emotions differently. I felt what I felt in different stages throughout the day. But I needed that. I needed that kind of, that cleansing to happen, per se. And I feel like we all need to experience that. I'm not saying nature will give it to you, but I do think a lot of the times nature will give it to you. It will show you things if you let it. If you let yourself be in those places have a gift for you. That's why they talk about Joshua Tree specifically, right? And like that it's a weird place. You can experience a lot of shit. And a lot of people go out there for different reasons, right? But there is something magical just about that area. That just that whole range, everything that's out there, the mountains, everything, all of it. There's gifts out there. There's things for us. We just have to go experience it and like let it present itself to you. So it was fucking sick. Like I loved it. I couldn't have asked for a better weekend, honestly. And that's what kind of leads us into the advice. So the advice is this. I came across this thing and I kind of wrote it. I came across a few things and I kind of bundled it together. And this is what I came up with. So we're really on borrowed time. Choose people who choose you and stay genuine. Everything will naturally reciprocate or remove itself. The borrowed time thing is really heavy because, and as we've talked about here on the show before, with all the death, with all the everything that's happening right now, right? Whether it's like in your life, in the world in general, when you kind of step back and you look at everything, there's so much shit going on all the time, right? You're still here. You are still here. Every single day that you wake up, you're still fighting. You're still making shit happen. You're making the decisions. You're doing the best for yourself, for the people around you that you love, that you care for. Because this time, It's almost like it's not ours, right? Like we're being lent this time. We're being lent this experience to be here. So take advantage of that, right? You want to live your best. You want to do your best. You want to be your best. And choose the people around you carefully, right? Like choose the people, curate them. These people give me love. These people give me this, right? Like, and it's a give and take, right? But you want people around you that are good, that have that kind of good energy, that good vibe, that bring you something, right? Why you want people around here a bunch of fuck asses? Like, you don't want that shit. Like, people are dickheads, whatever. Like, it's cool to a certain extent, I guess, to have people like that around you. But like, you could be a jokester type shit, but you could still be a good person. What I mean is, like, when you got people that are just bad, they're fucking assholes or pieces of shit, they act a certain way, shift that. Change that. Because those aren't the type of people you need around you. You know what I mean? And stay genuine. Stay genuine to yourself, to your needs, to your wants, like to that, to be a good person, right? Again, put out that vibe. That's what you want. Be good. Spread love. As corny, as cheesy as that sounds, it's the fucking truth. Because you live like that, you lead with that foot forward, things kind of change. The doors open, the windows open differently. Maybe things open and come across your path that you would have never thought you'd experience. But because you act and you feel and you put out some sort of energy in that way, these things have presented themselves, right? And everything in your life, when you kind of lead that way, it will naturally either come back to you or it will remove itself. But you have to be willing to do and experience those things, right? Let people show you who they are. Let experiences, let certain situations, just let things unfold. Your entire life shouldn't be like pulling teeth. Relationships with people shouldn't be like pulling teeth. Look at all of that. Stand back and just let things happen. Let people act how they act. Let people spread whatever they want to spread. Let them do whatever they want to do. Because what's for you will either stay and reciprocate that energy that you're giving, or it will remove itself. And the same thing from the places, all that, everything like that. Just let life do its fucking thing. Sit there, remain humble, be cool, be calm. Walk about your life and control what you can. And that's it. Everything else, let that shit go. Let it flow, right? Like we've talked about before. Just let the current take you. A lot of the time, you can't just sit there fighting it. You got to you swim along. You do what you got to do. Let the water take you wherever it's going to take you. That's what this shit's all about. And for me, again, this past weekend, Saturday was a big eye-opening for me. I needed that. I needed that kind of realignment. So I'm glad I got to experience that. But I hope you guys were able to take something from this episode. I hope it kind of makes you think a certain way. And again, maybe if you haven't experienced nature like that, or if you don't know what that's like at all, maybe it makes you curious. Maybe you're like, I kind of want to see what that's all about, and go see what's up. Because there's shit out there. There's so much in this world. Like here, that's in your backyard, Southern California, wherever it is that you live. Go experience shit. Go take your shoes off. Go walk in the grass. Like, you know what I mean? Go to the beach. Like, just take yourself out of your normal environment and just let nature do its thing. Because I promise you, it's got some magic for you. So I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this. It was fun to talking to you guys about it because I was like, oh man, I was super stoked. I couldn't wait to get in front of the camera and just I just want to tell you guys about it. It's fucking sick. But I appreciate you guys. I love y'all. I'm sending you nothing but good vibes, good energy, good things all your way. Hope you guys have an incredible rest of your week, a beautiful weekend, and I will catch you guys on the next one.